Hi everybody. I'm going to give a few minutes for everybody to hop on in here. But basically this video will be concerning this tornado watch that the Storm Prediction Center has just issued for much of southeastern Oklahoma. So I just want to get everybody familiar. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We will do a radar update, but I just want to talk through this tornado watch with everybody. So the SPC has put out tornado watch 677 until 3 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So the threat is for there's a high tornado threat and a very good chance that we could see EF2 or greater tornado strength. So definitely some tornadoes can be out with this, as storms are really remaining more isolated than we originally thought earlier today. And then, of course, there is also this severe wind threat with gusts up to 80 miles per hour, and up to baseball sized hail is also a major concern with this as well. So, I'm going to read through this watch with y'all. First time I'm really reading it through myself. So, basically, it's for much of central and southeastern Oklahoma until 3 a.m. Primary threat include a few tornadoes with a couple intense tornadoes possible, scattered damaging winds, and isolated gusts to 80 miles per hour. Scattered large hail is also possible, with some exceeding 2.5 inches. So some of its numerous cells consolidate into a squall line. So they also saying that we will have a condensed squall line form, or QLCS. So quasi-linear convective system, which generally favors more wind threat than anything. So let's go ahead and switch over to the radar view here. As you can see, there are a ton of warnings out, watches and warnings, lots of severe thunderstorm warnings. So really you can see two lines starting to form here. Let me get my marker up here. You can see this line starting to coalesce and come together, and then there's this line right here that's coming together. I don't expect this line to be as severe back here, but it's this front line that's going to cause the most damage. Not to say that this line isn't worth watching, because it certainly is. It's still in the tornado watch, so conditions are still favorable for tornadic development in some areas. But right now, all of the game is in south central and, how should I say, southeast of I-44. And then there's one severe thunderstorm warning up to the north here. But, well, that's probably going to take a while. So let's focus on south central Oklahoma, as this is the 10% hatched risk area that SPC upgraded their outlook to. So, turn off the marker here. And let's go ahead and look at this Paseo thunderstorm warning text. Until 9:15, so about 30 minutes left on that. Moving east at 55 miles per hour. So these are pretty fast movers until you start getting a tornado dropping, and then they'll probably slow down a little bit due to the increase of friction. So let's see the threats. Inch-sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. Let's look at this Lindsay and Marlowe storm here. Inch and 60 miles per hour. So it looks like that's fairly common right now. And let's go ahead and look at this Carnival storm while we're at it. Inch and 60 mile per hour winds. So again, right now that seems fairly common right now. If you have any questions, by the way, drop them in the chat. Right now I'm going to go through and read some reports here. At 8:38, 9 miles north of Bristol, there was a penny-sized hail and dime-sized hail reported 9 miles north of Bristol. So, at 8:44, there was reports of 62 mile per hour wind gusts near Marlowe. Why is there a box over my face? Good question. I'll have to check out my camera for that. I'm continuing looking down. Right now, that's all the new alerts I've seen. Continue refreshing this. Again, continue putting questions in any chat. I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Let's see. I'm looking up some information now. Seeing what the storm prediction is saying. So this is the mesoscale discussion that the storm prediction sends out before they issue a tornado watch or anything like that. So I'm just going to glance through here and see if anything important needs to be passed along. Strong moisture advection is ongoing, so we're continuing to get energy fed into this, which will increase the strength of the storms and also an increase in moisture really favors more of a QLCS format because, well, there's more moisture to rain out, so storms can grow more. So, according to a radar from Oklahoma City, there is SR8 storm relative helicity of over 450 meters squared per second squared through the 0 to 1 kilometer layer. Now, this is an extreme value. I need to look at a sounding and see what all is going on in here, but this really is probably the main driver of all the rotating in the storms tonight, because, well, whenever the 0 to 1 kilometer SR8 gets above 100 to 150, we start to pique our interest, and 450 is almost 3 times that, so it's certainly worth paying attention to. So I'm going to look up a sounding here. Yeah, they sort of came through already. Okay, so the Norman sounding that the Norman office launches to gain insight into the atmosphere is reporting almost 300 SR8s in that 0 to 1 kilometer layer. So the radar estimate SR8 is definitely plausible. So that's driving a good tornado risk for much of the state tonight. Southeast of I-44 is going to be your main area. Looks like we are starting to get some hooks forming on the radar. Nothing crazy right now. I'm not seeing conflicting colors, which is a good sign for now. Let's switch radars to Frederick. FDR. So, driving down I-35 tonight, well, it's going to be a bumpy ride. If you're slipping down there now, you are, you're not in the worst shape as you would be an hour or two later, but I'm still not going to recommend traveling, especially southbound on I-35 tonight. As you get into Texas, you will have several storms coming down there as well because the risk area does extend down there. Okay, what's going on? Okay. Yeah, so far no conflicting colors, really bright colors yet. There's some spin starting to show, but nothing too well defined yet. So yeah, nothing spinning yet. Stuff spinning, but nothing's substantially reaching the ground yet or looking at the ground yet. So go back, see any storm reports coming in. nothing on the OKWX hashtag on Twitter. If you know of any storm reports, go ahead and send them to me. I'll try to get to them. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay on, but get them to me and I'll try to relay them. Again, it's going to be a long night for much of the state, as these storms will be slow to move off the state, through the state. What is a QLCS? So a QLCS is what we call a quasi-linear convective systems. You may have heard of an MCS, mesoscale convective system. And really, right now, they're synonymous in meteorology. There are a couple of nuances, but not here or there for this. But basically what it is it's a line of thunderstorms. And these thunderstorms are basically coalesced together more or less and share the same or similar environment. And most of the time they turn into a wind threat. Although, if you remember back to this May, the El Reno tornado, that was from a QLCS, so tornadoes can happen quickly in a QLCS and be quite deadly and dangerous. So, definitely not a low threat at all, especially with the extremely high seal values we are seeing today. So, I'm getting a report of 2-inch diameter hail near Kingston, Oklahoma. So let's go ahead and take a look at that storm down there. And it's kind of in the gap in radar, so it's kind of hard to get a good beat on it. And let's go ahead and turn off so you can see towns down here. So you can see pinks and purple starting to form. Right now there is no conflicting wind signs, but we are about 13,000 feet up off the ground, so the radar is missing a significant portion of the storm. When you get out to this area, it's very hard to deduce if a tornado is happening or not. Sometimes I don't believe it is with this storm right now, but it's just something to keep in mind, especially as these storms, if these storms start to turn right, like some have so far. That's when you're starting to get an increase in tornadoes possible. So we'll go ahead and check out this new warning that's came into. 65 mile per hour to intel and 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Yeah, so far nothing terribly crazy so far, but again, this event is just beginning and storms will continue to ramp up. Right, you can see this line is really raggedy. I called it a line earlier, and it is, but it's a loose conglomeration of lines. So, really, you're still getting each storm, or 2 or 3 storms are sharing similar environment, and with a 100-mile long line yet. So each storm has its own characteristics to deal with. Just something to keep in mind as these storms grow. You start to see similar things happen, and normally the 7th storm will be the strongest with these. Something that I am going to look up right now is from the Oklahoma Mesonet. I just want to see the moisture advection for myself. So, and what I'll look here is called theta E, or equivalent potential temperature. It's a meteorological variable. We can go over sometime later because explanation takes a while. But right now I'm seeing very high values being pushed north and northwestward. So these storms are continuing to get fed energy, continuing to be able to grow stronger, and with this, the highest theta E values are still to the south, so I do expect these storms to start to move more eastward in their trajectory more than northeastward. So go back, see what reports I'm seeing. Um, no reports are coming in. Now, I haven't already relayed. Um, is my mic battle? Um, nothing's coming on still. Um, Probably because it's dark out and nobody's really seeing a whole lot. So really, in these nighttime events, radar meteorology really becomes important. Um, that's just deducing storms from radar. Um, let's go ahead and switch down to this radar, Frederick radar again, just to get a different perspective on these storms. And you see all these purples in the radar? This is what we call range folding. So really, we can't deduce much from velocity whenever we see this much range folding, especially. So this just happens in certain atmospheric conditions, particularly whenever you have storms or precipitation in the way of thunderstorms. One thing I will note is looks like this storm could me. I wouldn't call that rotation at all, really. It is conflicting winds, but you're also dealing with two separate storms there, so there isn't anything we can deduce from that. So, see what if anything's coming in. Train spot in near Fillmore, Oklahoma, and Johnson County is reporting insides of hail. Good report. So go ahead and check it out. That's probably going to be best viewed from the North Oklahoma City radar. Alright, let's see what's happening here. I'm going to go ahead and put the radar into a loop here. So this is about a 2-hour loop. Looks like it's slow to window here. Let's see. Not seeing anything too crazy right now with that. Maybe a little bit of a hook, but right now I don't think it's rotating. If it's rotating, it's definitely not of a concern right this second, but it's definitely worth watching. So I'm going to draw. Yeah, there was a little bit of rotation there, nothing too strong right now. And since we're so close to the radar, we're only about 3,600 feet up right now, so we're looking fairly close to the bottom of the storm. So nothing crazy right now, so that's good. Same report I relayed. Oh no, no. Inside hail is being reported with this storm. So I do continue to expect these storms will ramp up in hail size, wind speed, and intensity. Looks like there is a tornado warning for the north sides of Dallas, so if you know anybody there, go ahead and have them check that out. I know Monday Night Football is going on in Arlington. Looked like it was a bit to the east of Arlington, though. Alright, let's look at. Okay. Somebody posted a video of the storm, image of the storm in Dallas, Texas, and with the OKWX hashtag. That doesn't correspond to us, so thank you whoever was spamming that. So right now we are continuing to see a somewhat broken line of storms. So right now they are continuing to have their own energy to work with. It's Sunday. I'm trying to get through the work week earlier, okay? So nothing too far to the southwest of that line. Is Cushing going to get any weather tonight? I'm going to say yes. A lot of eastern Oklahoma will see weather tonight, but Payne County? Okay. Just making sure I'm in the right location. Cushing, yes, you'll probably see a few storms run through this area. Right now, you are kind of dry right now, but you do have a few non-severe thunderstorms right now making their way. They may be marginally severe when they come through, but I wouldn't expect anything major. So, what's going on in Duncan? Let's move on down now. Sorry, all my monitor's lagging. Duncan. So, right now, looks like the severe thunderstorm warning is to the northeast of Duncan. Looks like they don't see any signs of rotation, but let's go ahead and change the radar since we are so close here. I am seeing, thanks to David staying in the group chat for mentioning the tornado is a PDS tornado warning, so it's a particularly dangerous situation. So again, if you know anybody though, you might make sure they're in a safe spot. Alright, now we're getting a better look at this storm, and right now it's a big enormous blob of stuff. Is the best way I would describe it. Let's see what the warning text actually is. Is that a couplet? Right now I'm not seeing any features that define it as a couplet. Let's go ahead and circle this whole entire area. No, I wouldn't call that a couplet. Really, it's just a dead spot in the storm, so we're not seeing precipitation associated with this, so I wouldn't call it a couplet. No. this blob, right, it will not affect Cushing. Your storms will be on the northern sides of the metro. Now, I will say this does indicate maybe we're starting to get some rotation with this storm in Duncan, no, northeast of Duncan, approaching Elmore City and eventually Maysville. Starting to get a little bit of rotation in the storm. Nothing that will reach the ground quite yet, so this is something that we're going to have to monitor throughout the evening. In Okmulgee County, 2 miles north of Peterson, looks like penny-sized hail. In Chandler, we're getting half-dollar-sized hail. Hail covering the highway 1 mile south of the Kansas border between Newcock and Ark City, Kansas. Continuing to look at stuff here. Let's go ahead and switch back to the Norman Oklahoma City radar. No, I don't need a clock right now. Train spot near Prague in Lincoln County reported quarter-sized hail. So Cushing just got put under a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like it's going to be about an hour out from affecting Cushing. So 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Again, right now I'm not seeing any strong signs of rotation, but we're very early on in the stages of these storms, and they are in the most unfavorable environment yet. That continues to be south central and southeastern Oklahoma. Right now we do have northward moving storms for the most part, which is good. But that broken line still continues to concern me just because each storm will have a more favorable environment to have fun with. Of course, it won't be fun for us, but for the storms, they'll have a blast with it. Let's see what else we have. Camera layout. Let's see what we can figure out here. Okay. Okay, we're back with the camera. Graphics, this radar is from a product called RadarScope. It's an advanced radar program. Really, it's more advanced than most people need. But for us meteorologists, it does give us a little bit more glimpse of the atmosphere. And for other graphics, I use Photoshop. I have some maps that I purchased and just draw on them. So, yeah. And for animation on my graphics, I normally use Keynote. So, see what else is going on. Let's look at Velma, Pinell, and Paws Valley Storm. Hey, look, we're already on it. Starting to get a little bit better rotation, but it's still quite wonky looking. I wouldn't call it a strong couplet at all right now. But again, we are a little bit of race from the radar still, so let's go down and switch back to Frederick. Um, yeah, you're seeing the rotation is starting to tighten up quite a bit. Have to see what quite goes on with it. I wouldn't be surprised though if the National Weather Service start issuing a tornado passport tag on this fairly quickly. Um, so I do expect that to occur within probably the next 10 minutes if I was a guessing person. 13 minutes, so they may wait for this thunderstorm warning to expire and reissue and put a tornado passport tag on it. Right now it is a bit of ways from producing a tornado. Really, I think the circulation is too broad for it to be tightened up on the ground right now, personally. Not saying it's impossible, but unlikely at this point. But if you do live between Elmore City, Lindsay, Maysville, Wynnewood, Paws Valley, Paoli, start getting stuff together in case you have to go to your safe space. Um, 2 miles northeast of Brooksville in Pottawatomie County, got a report of coil-sized hail. So we'll go back and check on these other storms here. There we go. Storm down near Colgate is doesn't look to be storms are way off from the radar, so I would need to check another radar for that. So let's go ahead and look at the storms around the Oklahoma City area. Right now, still 60 mile per hour winds and coil-sized hail. Starting to get some spin associated with these storms as they're starting to be sustained in time length. What about north of Samrock? Hold on just a minute. Okay. Looks like that storm is looks like there could be some rotation associated with that. About 5,000 feet off the ground here. it may be starting to get its act together. Looks like it is one of our more intense hours this evening. Looks like it could intensify fairly quickly, but right now it still has core-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds on it. Very large hail is now falling in Melbourne. Hard to estimate the size from the pictures I've seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's an inch and a half in diameter. So let's take a zoom out here. Not that far. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at this storm that's approaching Maysville and Paws Valley. Now it's getting close enough we can just rely on the Oklahoma City radar right now. So from this angle, it doesn't look like it has an intense rotation. It's still got a mesocyclone associated with it, but nothing too tight on it right now, so that's a good sign. Right now, maybe it will stay that way, but definitely still worth monitoring. It can quickly tighten back up. Nothing new so far. In Melbourne and Johnson County, public reported baseball size hail of 2.75 inches. So let's zoom out and go take a look at that. Let's see. Let's look at these storms. I haven't given a lot of attention to northern Oklahoma, as still the major threat is still for south central and southeastern Oklahoma. But the threat up here is not zero, as storms are starting to approach the Tulsa metro area. Ping pong ball size hail and drumright. And I'm switching to the Tulsa radar right now. Let's see. No strong rotation is appearing to me right now, which is a good sign. My iPad keeps falling over. If you have any questions, continue to put them in any of the chats we're on. We are live on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, so you have plenty of ways to get us. Northern sides of the Oklahoma City metro does have a severe thunderstorm warning for it. So far, looks like the storm near Tatum's is ramping back up, and looks like it's starting to turn right, as the severe thunderstorm warning now includes the northern sides of Davis and Joy, Oklahoma. Wynwood, Paws Valley, Stratford, Briars, Wayne, Maysville, you're all still in the fire, starting to get some wind and some Hell, moving into the area. Rotation is starting to increase on the southern flank of this storm. So definitely, this is the storm that I'm most worried about today, right now. Um, it's the closest to producing a tornado, I should say, right now. It's still not there, but it's getting better at looking for a tornado. So I guess I should say what's looking. Um, okay. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Continue to look at this radar. I'll be back in a couple minutes and update what's going on then. and see if I missed anything here. Looks like still tornadoes still occurring in Dallas. Again, if you have people there, make sure you keep them informed. Let's see. See if I miss any weather reports here. Baseball-sized hail near Prague. 1 mile east of Joinville, golf ball-sized hail. One mile north of Bristol, quarter-sized hail was reported. Right now, looks like these storms are still cycling, so that's good. North of Bole, Oklahoma. Let's see. Nothing anything organized right now. You may be getting some spinning there, but nothing too crazy. Right now, yeah, so, what I'm gonna do for now is I'm gonna hop off of here, and check some more data offline and let these storms progress a little bit farther, but I'm still continuing to watch these increases in circulation. Again, these storms are just continuing to a more favorable environment. You do have a high risk of tornadoes, specifically in south central and southeastern Oklahoma, as well as hail and damaging winds. If you have any questions at all, get a hold of me. I'll be more than happy to answer you and listening to me.